Say hello. Hello. Whoa, crazy people. Okay. I gave them balloons for being a good job, doing a good job last time. Hey, hey, hey. Okay. Hey everyone. So I tried to get better lighting, but unfortunately I can't. Okay, Felix. I can't download any other programs on my tablet for some reason. Anyway, I recently got my nails done. I'm trying to see what else can I say. Oh yes, to answer my friend's question, Jacob, about Western and Eastern religious philosophies. I talked to various Chinese friends, and it really depends on the family. A lot of people are Christian here. Some small, very traditional cities believe in Buddhism, but not everybody's the same. It all depends on the upbringing of and the tradition followed in the family, as well as if the child decides to carry on the legacy, of course. It seems a lot of people care more about money. It's very important to Chinese people. If you make money for yourself, even as a child, they start training them early that money is the most important aspect in your life. And therefore, you should try to make every opportunity about business and your financial success. I've seen that, and I recently saw a Chinese guy I was talking to before. He was just a friend of mine, and it's just the whole thought of, most Chinese men think that all women are just open, like too easily accessible, and it's not like that at all. But, well, I was just very nervous when I saw him, but whatever. I didn't really talk to him. If he wants to talk to me, he can talk to me. I'm doing pretty good teaching. My students are very sweet. Recently, I had a free event with a lot of Chinese people, and I'm a terrible, terrible public speaker, actually. I was pretty nervous. I didn't know what to say. I just thanked everybody for coming, and I was happy that they were there. And I hope continues to be a successful thing. It's called English Corner. It was an event that my former colleague started, where Chinese people just conversate with foreigners. So it's like a free class, but we also learn from cultures and each other. I was just, they were asking me like if I would drive here, and I said no because I'm afraid for my life. To the end, the traffic rules are different. There's a lot of traffic, and you never know. Yeah, and we talked about how children might be raised differently in the United States from here. I just told them it depends on the family because every family has their own dynamics, philosophies, traditions. The newer generations might have a different idea, and they might want to keep some of their traditions. It depends, really, right, on the family. It's just like religion. What else well, let's see. I've been just trying to get involved in the community and do have a great impact. Sometimes I do feel like I'm a little bit suffocated in the way that I can't, of course, openly say everything I'm thinking. In the United States, I never really did that either. It depended on the situation. But in my former job, I was able to say things, what I was thinking, or to make innuendos and things like that. And I find that the longer I stay here, the more careful and reserved that I've become. In a way, I guess that's great, but at the same time, I feel like I'm a little bit repressed. For example, playing the song Anaconda. See, I can make these jokes with my foreign friends, but of course, this is China. Everyone's a little bit repressed. Uh, oh, I want to mention that since I mentioned the whole thing with the whole thing about dating. Well, this is an interesting thing. Married men and women will go out in public to bars and date other people. In other words, they cheat on each other with another person, right? And they act like it's completely normal. I didn't know what to say to that. I actually met this. I met a couple at a bar, and they're both Chinese, of course, and they were saying they mentioned to me later in the night they were both married and they wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I said, why don't you get divorced? And I said because that's a like a big taboo here in China that if you're divorced, you're like a reject. You're seen as like it's you're just seen as someone of low class, whatever, because you're alone, right? I know two people who have been separated or divorced. Actually, it's been four. One of the guys I was talking to, Chinese guy, as a friend, is separated from his girlfriend or whatever. They were never even married. So it's like it's seen as a big taboo or as a completely unnatural. So even though they have that within their own country, they see foreign women as promiscuous and completely over sexualized. The thing is that that's not always the case. We don't just have sex on our minds. Well, it's a completely natural thing, I believe. That doesn't mean that we're terrible people to think as women to feel that way. It's a normal, natural bodily function. And if you really want to talk more about that, we can. As far as anything else, the food here, you can get vegetarian food. I recently went out with some Chinese people and they make very interesting jokes. The Chinese women can also have a good sense of humor. They make jokes about lovers and this and that, and I'm like, huh, they're not as repressed as they seem. It's just in private when they have these conversations with me. I see these things and I hear them, and they really like hanging out with me because they want to learn from me, and I'm a foreigner, so on like that. As you can see my sheets behind me, there are no dryers here. I have to wash my stuff and hang it up and wait for it to dry. So I'm also sure you guys have heard of squat toilets. I have to squat to use a bathroom. I have a toilet in my apartment, but anywhere else, I'm lucky if I find a regular toilet. I also have to carry toilet paper around with me. So, yeah. It's taking my time, and doesn't mean I'm not going to stop flirting. I feel my confidence coming back. I really like working out. They have a lot of yoga clubs around here as well. I met a yoga teacher. He's from India. He's pretty cool. Maybe a little bit immature, but he's cool. So there are places to work out. The gyms are a little bit expensive, but I work out from home. I'm just perspiring a lot these days. It's so humid here, like this month, and then the summer it's super humid. It'll rain, but it still feels very humid. And I just sweat a lot. So I don't know if that's gonna contribute to my weight loss. I hope that I just want to be healthy. That's the biggest thing. I've got to just say that um, still playing this song. I think I'm maturing into a different person. I really feel I was thinking lately, my while I may still be flirtatious, I feel like a deep respect for Chinese people in many ways that they're they're people who are very kind and hospitable. I I don't have a car, so I have to take the bus or I have to take a taxi to get from one place to another. If they can, they'll usually give me a ride in their cars. So it's like, in the United States, you're not supposed to get into a car with a complete stranger. Well, I've done that recently. But as a woman who lived in my building, she told me she lived in Chinese. She basically told me she lived in the same building, and I believed her. And she dropped me off because she saw me carrying a big bag of groceries. I've been really lucky to meet people who are very kind, and they help me with whatever I need. If it's to buy an airplane ticket or to just fashion, to go around meeting other people, socializing. That has been a very good impact in my life. It's given me a lot of hope, and I'm trying to be as compassionate as I can with them regarding their culture and how they feel very restricted in many ways. It's hard for them to deal with issues within their own community, and they don't like to be criticized whatsoever, like nothing at all. I met a teenager, I won't say her name, but I met a Chinese teenager. She's 16 years old, and she's trying to raise awareness of LGBT awareness for her friend who's gay. And it's hard in China because they have gay clubs, dances, they have gay events. However, there are, of course, the nuance is that it's taboo. You're not allowed to be gay. It's a sickness and it's a mental health issue. They also have electroshock treatments for people who are gay here. So it's kind of like the US, but back in the olden days, of course, back in the Western times. um, so those are some issues that have been going on here. And this friend of hers is trying to make a video to raise awareness and make people try to understand that it's not a sickness, that it's something that is a natural, innate thing that is that you were born with. And so I'm totally supporting her on that. But on the down low, because everybody here shares everything and they talk about it, and you can't. It's like if I take a picture with a Chinese person, a random Chinese person on the street, they'll share that, and like within an hour, all my coworkers will know. So I have to be very careful about what I share, who I date, things like that. I tend to usually trust my friends online and back in the United States, or the people that are just closest to my heart that I know I can trust. I'm I'm really grateful for this opportunity, just doing what I can to make a big impact. I'm a journalist. I can't believe that I'm actually a journalist here. I'm more of a Carrie Bradshaw of communism because I'm not allowed to use a First Amendment, of course, here. They have something that's a First Amendment. However, it's very tricky. Of course, you can't criticize the government or anything, any government officials, the way of life. Chinese people just don't like to be criticized at all whatsoever. Excuse me. So there are good things and there are bad things, like any country and any culture. I'm I'm perspiring a lot, so I'm just pull my hair back, and I need to take a shower in a little bit, just because it's too hot here. My roomie is in Hong Kong right now. I really, 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 really wish I could go. Wish I could go with her. At the same time, I think sometimes it's good for me to have my space, because when I need to ruminate or go, or life is just getting me down, and I need to have time for myself. I really do. I need time to figure things out. This is how I. This is how I function. Uh, if you're wondering about the hair, well, yeah, I want to try something new, and a lot of the Chinese people are like it, I guess. I kind of hate it. I kind of hate it a little bit, but I like the bangs when my hair is pulled back. I like that. I guess I'll just get used to it soon. Maybe. I'm not sure. Uh, yeah, I've been trying to wear makeup more, just get ready, because I feel like I was losing that part of myself and I was getting way to be much of a slob. Just wearing jeans to school every day and whatever, not caring, but that's not me. I actually care about looking and feeling good about myself. Since I've been here, I've been chanting a lot, doing a lot of Buddhism, getting into it. I'm actually vegetarian again too, so I think I'm trying to employ compassion, which is hard. It's very hard for me. It's always been hard for everybody else. Empathy and sympathy are easier, but those drain your energies and yourself. They drain you. So I'm trying to be the best person that I can be here. Be a good friend to these Chinese people, because I think that a lot of them need someone to talk to. One of my mutual friends had a black eye. She's married, and she told me that she hit herself. I didn't believe it for 1 minute at all. I knew something else happened, but I won't say her name or whatever. I just told her that I sent her a message and I told her if she ever needs to talk or hang out, she can contact me. That's all I said, because that's all I could offer. I feel that a lot of foreigners here can't, I, I don't know, like I can't really communicate with them as hard as I don't know, if I have tried to talk with them. And I think part of the reason that they're so ambivalent, it's because they've had terrible experiences here in China, and they think that I have a rose tinted view of it, and that hasn't been it. The thing is, my experience has been completely different in the way that I had someone to guide me. I had my other roommate, my former roommate, Nancy. She was always there from the start. She guided me. She introduced me to people who are very cool, Chinese people who I can talk to, foreigners. And her friends are now good friends of mine. I think most of them are. I'm really thankful for that. And I know that she helped pass that down to me. And now I can take it and mold it and shape it into what I feel it needs to be. So for that reason, I think things are different, because other people have been cheated. They haven't had a good experience. Their contracts were not what they were promised. Things were messed up. one of them was not paid, and it's just different things like that. And so I consider myself really lucky because some of them have even been threatened to, to be blacklisted and whatnot, and other things taken to court. And it's terrible that because some of them have to hire a lawyer or they had to leave and find another job. But I'm truly thankful for that. I'm grateful for having found a school and everything that has been paying off really well. I think I made a good choice in this school, especially I have to say thank you to my hairdresser too. I said that it might be a better idea to go teach children. I don't regret it for 1 minute. No, not at all. I've grown so much and I've learned from these kids. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna put up that video where they're all saying, hello, hello. So you guys can see some of my students. These are my first and second graders. I teach them PE. That's why I'm so tanned. I'm constantly running outside. And I don't need to ask them, whatever, who's your favorite teacher or whatever, foreign teachers. It doesn't bother me. I feel like it's not important. They can have different one favorite teacher or other favorite teachers. What? As long as they learn something from me and they're having fun. It's the most important thing to me. I had a little boy run up to me at the event, at the English Corner event. Yeah, last night, which is Saturday here. And he comes up to me and he said, I'm so proud of you. I didn't know who this little boy was. I think he was one of the parents' children or something. I hugged him and I said, thank you. I've never really heard that. I'm proud of you. Great. I hope I'm going to start crying in front of the camera. I'm not a crier. I'm not really someone who gets emotional, but that was amazing to hear from a little, about 7-year-old boy in China. It tears my heart apart. Oh my goodness. Yep, hard work is what it takes to succeed in life. And I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I've been teaching. I had a cable attached to a lot of the teachers, Chinese teachers here. They teach in a method that's just repetition, repeat, 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 repeat. And like I said, they tend to hit them, and it's hard to deal with that. So I have to do a lot of meditation, a lot of self-cleansing, spiritual cleansing, because you are like a sponge and you soak that up. So I have to do that. And they use PowerPoint. So anyway, I had this cord, VGA cord, and it broke. One of the students broke it when he was trying to help me pick up my things. They all surround me like a little mob, okay? Like a little, they're like they're little people. They're midgets who surrounded me, and they're an army of little people to just want to mob you, touch you, and like it's hard to get by because when there's a big mob mentality, you can't get around them. So I have to tell Chinese teacher to please tell them not to touch my things and to please give me space. Because here, personal space doesn't exist. People will talk to you and they're this close to your face. And I'm just like, I just back up a little bit and I'll say, just give me some space. But if we're sitting down, it's not a problem. So yeah, I just want to end with being grateful, and some of the foreigners, I don't know what's their deal, or very strange. It's like, I'm sure I'm fairly positive that if we met in the United States, it would be a different mentality. They wouldn't act the way they do here. I think they're just jaded by everything. That's very sad to me. Some of them have been here for 3 years, 4 years, and I feel like I can't communicate with them. There's like a blockage. So when I feel this, I don't talk to them. I don't make the effort because I feel like they have negative energy, and sometimes it's best that way. I'm very selective about who I talk to, even though I feel like I have a lot of good friends in the United States. I really do. So I'm gonna have to be way more selective here because a lot of people here have been cheated, and I want to, let's say 5 or 6 things I'm grateful for: my health, having a good job, having a home. I'm grateful for being in China, my students, my family, my friends in the United States who are very supportive and have been talking to me from way over there. Really cool. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I'm really terrible at talking. I wish it was more fluid. I wish it were more fluid, but it's not that way. I find myself correcting my own speaking. Maybe this will be help for my future public speaking events because apparently the media is gonna interview me here in China. I've already been interviewed once, and I don't think it was good. I'm going to start dressing even better. So if the opportunity comes up again, they'll see me in my best attire. Okay. Love you from China. Take care.